Okay, guys, so today we're going to talk about completing the square with circles. And I'm just going to go ahead and start right off with examples here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is example number 1 is we're going to write out an equation. We're going to have x squared plus 6x plus y squared minus 4y plus 4 equals 0. And our whole goal is we want to get this in the equation of a circle. Which, if you guys remember, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals your radius squared. Right. These can be plus or minus just because you're squaring them. So don't stress if sometimes I write it negative and sometimes I write it positive. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to move this negative 4 over. So we're going to start by subtracting 4 and subtracting 4. So move constant over. Subtract 4 from both sides. Okay, so what our new equation is going to look like is x squared plus 6x plus y squared minus 4y equals negative 4. Okay, then we need to create a C term for both of our x and our y values. Basically, we're creating two perfect square trinomials. So our next thing is we're going to create a C term for both x and y. We want to create two perfect square trinomials. So we're going to have x squared plus 6x plus a number that we're going to create plus y squared minus 4y plus a number that we're going to create equals negative 4. Sorry, let me get some markers here. So we're going to pay special attention to these numbers, and we're going to go ahead and fill in these spaces. What we're going to do is this is actually in the form of a quadratic. If you remember, in the quadratic, the standard form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. So here's our a term, our b term, and our c term. Our a term, our b term, and our c term. Well, we're going to force this to be a perfect square, right? So we're going to take our b term divide it by 2, and then square it. Okay, so we're going to do our x and our y. So our b term for our x is going to be a 6. We're going to divide it by 2, which gives us 3, and we're going to square it. So we now have a 9. So we're taking our b term and we're getting our c term. Okay, here we're going to have a negative 4 divided by 2, which gives us negative 2. We're going to square it, and we're going to get a positive 4. So we took our b term, and we got our c term. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug them into both sides of the equation. So all right, so we're going to go ahead and do x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 4y minus 4y plus 4 equals, remember I said both sides of the equation, so that negative 4 that we had plus 9 plus 4. Because you have to remember, keep both sides of your equations equal. So here's the 9 that we inserted. Here's the 4 that we inserted. And then here they are again, both sides of the equation. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to factor both our x equation and our y equation. And we'll have the equation of a circle. So factor both x and y equations and you will have the equation of a circle. Okay, so you might be like, oh shoot, Mrs. Black, I forgot how to factor. Well, that's okay because they're both perfect square trinomials. To factor, look at the b term, whatever the b term is. So in this case, it's 6, and in this case, it's negative 4, and divide by 2. So here we have x. We look at our b term divided by 2, which is plus 3 squared, plus y, that b term divided by 2 is negative 2 squared, equals, and then we combine all of those terms and we get 9. And look guys, that's our equation of the circle. So we would be able to tell what our center is now. Our center is going to be a negative 3 and a positive 2. And our radius, remember, we have to take the square root of 9, so our radius is equal to 3. Not too bad, huh? Well, let's do one more, just so we can kind of hang of it. So I'm not going to have all the step-by-steps. I'm just kind of going to do it with you. So our second example, example number 2, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 20y plus 100 equals 0. All right, well, first thing is we have to move that 100 over. So minus 100 minus 100. And we're left with x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 20y equals negative 100. All right, well, now we're going to create our two perfect squares. So we're going to create a c term, right? So it's going to be x squared plus 4x plus that blank plus y squared plus, minus 20y minus 20y plus that blank equals negative 100. And then don't forget, you have to add them to both sides. So plus whatever that blank is, plus whatever that blank is. Okay, so to create our perfect square trinomial, we take our b term and divide it by 2. We're going to have 4 divided by 2, which gives us 2, and then we have to square it. So now we're going to square that, and we're going to get 4. Okay, and then the same thing here. We're going to take our b term. We're going to divide it by 2, so negative 20 divided by 2, and then we're going to square it, which is negative 10, and then squared gives us 100. So now we're going to go ahead and fill that in, right? We're going to have x squared plus 4y plus that 4, right? That's where that 4 came from, plus y squared minus 20y plus that 100 equals negative 100 plus that 4 plus that 100. Okay, well, now we get a factor, right? So we just take our b term and divide it by 2. So we're going to go ahead and have x plus 2 squared. Looking at our term here, which is negative 20, so plus y squared minus 10, not y squared, y minus 10 squared equals, well, when we combine like terms, the hundreds cancel out and we're left with 4. So that's the equation of our circle. And my center would be a negative 2 and a positive 10 with a radius of 2, a radius of 2. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more, and I think that you guys will hopefully be pretty good. If you want to try it and then pause me and see the answer at the end, by all means, please do. So we have x squared minus 10y plus 6x plus y squared plus 9 equals 0. Oh dang, everything's out of sorts. So let's start with what we know, minus 9 minus 9. And then we're going to move things so that they're actually in the right order. So we're going to go ahead and have x squared plus 6x. We're going to move those side by side. And it doesn't become opposite because we're not crossing over an equal sign. Plus y squared minus 10y equals negative 9. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and create my two perfect square trinomials. So I'm going to have x squared plus 6x plus a number plus y squared minus 10y plus a number equals negative 9 plus a number plus a number. And this time I'm just going to work and fill it in as I go. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to have 6 divided by 2, which gives me 3. I'm going to square that, and that'll give me 9. So I'll put a 9 here and a 9 here. And then I'm going to take my negative 10. I'm going to divide it by 2. That'll give me a 5. I'm going to square that, and that will give me a 25. So a 25 here and a 25 here. All right. I'll go ahead and rewrite this so it doesn't look as confusing, and then we can factor it. So x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 10y plus 25 equals 25. All right, we're factoring this equation in this equation. And remember, in order to do that, we just look at our b term and divide it by 2. So I have x, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, so x plus 3 squared. And then I have y, and I look at my b term, and it's negative 10. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5 squared, and then 25. So I look here, and I can tell what my center is. It's going to be a negative 3 and a positive 5. And my radius is equal to 5. The square root of 25 is 5. All right, guys. Well, that is completing the square with the equations of a circle. And please come to office hours if you have any questions, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.